What up, watchers, listeners, everybody who enjoys this podcast? This is what we watch, and we're going to do a little bonus episode for
our first bonus episode
for the new Marvel movie Thunderbolts *.
Or if you've seen the movie, the new Avengers.
The new Avengers. I guess to just jump into it, I want to say that I think it is so genius and was so brilliant for them to market this movie as Thunderbolts and then kind of hint like, oh, that's not the actual title. And then after the movies come out, call it the new Avengers. Because had they said from the beginning that this was the new Avengers, everybody would have been like up in arms, like hated it. But then we get a whole movie to kind of enjoy these characters, get to know them. And then they call it the new Avengers. Fantastic idea.
Low-key, Thunderbolts hits better. I think they should stick with it. Like, I get it, but I like the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's up in the air whether or not they go back to Thunderbolts or New Avengers, because there is a team in the comics like called the New Avengers that's separate from the Avengers. So we'll see what happens, but I'd be fine if they kept it or changed the name.
Changed it, yeah. Well, I love it. Super fun. I really enjoyed this movie. What did you think, Garrett?
Life...
We saw this separately, by the way.
We did. So it's no secret. I think we have said in actual episodes, we've talked about how Marvel has kind of fallen off, just vaguely in some episodes. And when this movie first got announced, I thought it was dumb. I didn't really care about any of these characters. I was like, this is going to be dumb. Then the first trailer came out, and I was like, huh. And the more and more stuff I heard and saw about this movie, I was thinking, like, this could be pretty good. And I'm so happy to say that Thunderbolts is, I do not want to say we are so back, because we're not. One good movie is not saying that Marvel is back. But this movie was so good. I enjoyed it so much. I walked out of the theater with a smile on my face. It was such a good, it was like a hug from an old friend. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah. They've kind of been, I stick with the analogy. I feel like Marvel's kind of been in their like rebellious teenage phase where you're like, just do what you're good at. And like, I don't know, stop putting out crap that nobody cares about.
Exactly.
Like, put out good stuff. Anyways, I loved it. I thought it was great. I would say that it makes me excited to see more of these movies with these characters. Definitely. Like, I'm not sure that I'm more excited to like go see any other Marvel movies that they're putting out, but like, I think if they put these characters in it, like, yeah, I'll be there, because I think they did a great job of connecting, like building connection with all of these characters, with this team. I think it's super cool. The villain, talk about a perfect villain for Natalie. Like, literally nothing I want more than freaking, like Sentry, whatever you want to call it, the Void. Do they call him the Void? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's Sentry and the Void.
Yeah, I'm like, that's just perfect for me. Like, I'm like, this guy has a tough upbringing, so obviously he's having these dark thoughts, and then he gets these powers because he's trying to, get his life on track, put things back, but then his mind still just, like, doesn't let him do that. He has, like, these two different sides in his brain, and because I love when a villain has depth, and I also love when a villain overcomes things. Like, I love when they kind of, like, have a turn to the, to a good side. And it also helps a lot that it's Lewis Pullman, because I love that man. He is, so can we just talk about how talented Lewis Pullman is? Have you seen Bad Times at the El Royale?
I haven't.
Okay, we have to do that on the podcast, because that movie is so good. He's in it. He's also in Top Gun Maverick. And then after I saw this movie, I was like, I have to go see Lessons in Chemistry. It's like the show that he's in with Brie Larson, because I was just looking for more stuff that he was in. And I started watching. He's so good at that. Like, he is an incredibly talented actor. And yeah, I just love him. I think he did such a good job. And also, I love Florence Pugh. I think everything that she's in, she's just so good. Like, I think it's so smart to have her kind of be the focus of this movie. Like, you kind of see it through her eyes. I also watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, like, John Walker, I thought was... I still don't like him. I will say, like, I know that people are like, no, I like John Walker. I still don't really like him. But I think that the way they portrayed him in this movie made me understand him more, if that makes sense. So I was like, okay, like, I get you now. Like, I don't think me and John Walker would be friends or homies, but like, I get him. Like, I understand him. I could let it happen. I like that they make fun of him a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely.
Those are my thoughts on the characters so far.
I think here we'll put a little bit of structure to it. Let's take the characters like one at a time.
Yeah.
So
well, I did those three. So what do you think?
I'll start out with Bob. Well, actually, before I do that, you said
I love you, Bob.
That this movie hasn't like it makes you more excited to watch movies with these characters, and I agree 100%. Like, I am fully invested in watching a movie with any of these characters, even Ghost, who is
even Ghost,
like who
barely
like
in
really,
it.
Of the Thunderbolts, she has like the least amount of development, but I still would like want to watch something with her because she's just like fun. She's cool. She's a good part of the team. But I will say this movie did make me excited to watch Fantastic Four because of
it did get me excited for Fantastic Four too. Like, I've just kind of been like, whatever, like Fantastic Four, I don't really care. But I did get like, it got me hyped. That end credit scene, I was like, okay, wait, no, I'm in it. Like, I'm gonna go see that. I'm excited.
Yeah, like I've been excited for Fantastic Four for a while, but I can't remember the last time a Marvel end credit scene has made me feel the way that end credit scene made me feel, like how it used to be. The good old days. And I think you can describe Thunderbolts really well with just that phrase, the good old days, because it feels like a movie that would have come out during the golden age, during like the phase 3 era, like pre-Endgame era, and
just banger after banger.
Exactly. Like it, and that's something that Marvel has really struggled with their end credit scenes is every single movie recently and TV show, the end credit scene sets up something that we're likely never going to see. Yeah. Because like it either just wasn't successful
Shout out Harry Styles in Eternals.
In Eternals. We're probably never seeing him ever again. But yeah, so it made the end credit scene was simple. It was just teasing the next movie, and that's what they all used to do is they would tease the next movie or like a movie that's already announced or already being made. Yeah. Not something that might happen, like something that is going to happen. And so I really
something that is on the horizon.
Exactly. Like we're seeing this movie in like 2 months. Like that's so smart to just do an end credit scene about them. But Bobby.
My hero. I love him. I need to tell you my Lewis Pullman story really quick.
Yes, tell it.
So one time when I was a child and Jackson was a child and my parents and the 4 of us were traveling, we got stuck, like delayed at the Salt Lake City airport. And we were just like chilling, sitting in seats. And for those who don't know, Lewis Pullman's dad is Bill Pullman, who's also an actor. He's in While You Were Sleeping, which is famously loved and adored by my mother. And my mom, like, they're just chilling and sitting. My mom looks up, and guess who's sitting across from her? Bill Pullman and his wife and his 2 kids. And me and Jackson are playing with Bill Pullman's children, also known as Lewis Pullman.
What?
So me and Jackson, besties with Lewis Pullman. Because we hung out with him in the Salt Lake City airport over a delay one time.
How old were you guys?
Like, literally, there's no way I could remember it. Jackson doesn't remember it either. But, like, I think Jackson and Lewis Pullman are around the same age. Like, I think he's, like, 25, 26. Yeah. And then I'm just a couple years younger. So, like, we probably were, like, I was probably, like, 3. Jackson was probably, like, 5. Like, we were little. Like, no way we could remember that. But it's my claim to fame right now because I literally love him. And I'm like,
he's just gonna keep getting bigger.
he's just gonna no, he's seriously
Yeah.
as he should because he's so good. But that's my Lewis Pullman story.
That's awesome. That's so cool, actually.
Isn't that
You're
so
kind of
funny? Well, and my mom
baby
and
Lewis.
yeah, and my mom and dad were like, because we asked them, we were like, well, was Bill Pullman and like, what did you guys say anything to him? And they were like, I don't think that they really talked to Bill all that much, but they talked to his wife a little bit. Like they were just chatting it up with his wife, and then he just kind of like sat there and was quiet. So,
Yeah.
but my mom had to like go over to the phones in the airport and was like calling her friends because she loves While You Were Sleeping so much.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Anyways,
Um,
what are your thoughts on Bob?
Bobby. I loved Bob. I am of everybody in that movie, I think I am the most excited to see what they do with Sentry moving forward. I knew a little bit about Sentry as a character before this movie, just like vaguely. I know he's like Marvel's closest, like in terms of
Thing to
powers.
Superman. Yeah.
Closest thing to Superman. But what sets him apart, which I didn't really know about until this movie, like I knew Sentry was kind of like he had like a shady side to him, but I didn't know what it was until this movie. And I think the idea of making your Superman, just making any hero like their arch nemesis is
Themselves. Yeah.
is so cool. Like and I've researched Sentry's character more, and that's like his whole shtick is he has one side of him that's like the Superman good guy who wants to do good, like had a rough upbringing, but he's trying to be better, underdog type hero. And then the other side of him, which is the Void, which is just this ultimate evil that just is all about misery and wants to bring other people down and stuff like that. And so that's just such an interesting dynamic that I'm so intrigued by how they're going to explore that in the future. But I don't know how they're going to do it, especially in Doomsday, because it'll be so focused on other things that I doubt they're going to do too much stuff with. Like Sentry is 100% making an appearance in Sentry form. Like he will be fighting. There's no way he doesn't. But I just don't know if they're going to do anything with the Void. But we'll see. Maybe they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's just such a endearing guy. Like just such a sweet soul, Bob. Like I love all the conversations he had with everybody, but specifically at the beginning with Yelena when he's like, I should probably just stay. And she's like, no, like, let's go. And he's like, no, I think it's better for everybody if I just stay. And he's kind of like laughing about it, but you can tell he's implying like it's because they just said like if we stay we're gonna die, and he's like it's better if I stay. It's better if I die.
If I just die, yeah.
And I just like that's so like sad how he's like gotten to that point, and I could just tell like when those scenes were happening, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so good. Like
yeah,
it's gonna be him, like all of them coming together, especially for him. And he was just freaking hilarious. Like the scene when he first shows up and everybody's arguing in the bunker, and then he like kind of hides in the corner and he's like, man, it's getting pretty hot in here, to try to like lighten the mood, but nobody laughs. And then he's just like,
yeah.
But yeah, the scene that really got me with Bob is when Yelena and him are in the attic and she's like, it's okay. Like you can like let it out. And he's like trying to like be tough, but he just can't. Like he very much probably what we see, like his relationship with his dad was always making fun of him. And so he probably wanted to be tough for his dad and doesn't like showing emotion. And so he like kind of hides when he starts crying, but then she hugs him and he just lets it out. Like there's just so many subtle nuances with his character that I really, really loved. Yeah, I just love Bobby. I love Sentry. His powers are so cool. I don't know what Doctor Doom is going to do against Sentry if he does pull up, but they'll probably pull some BS and they'll be the same power levels or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, do you have any more thoughts on Bob before I move on?
No, just that when the Void like first started and he was like doing all the shadow stuff, and then Red Guardian saves the kid, and then he like gets her with the Void. The gasp that I let out in the theater, I was like, and I'm pretty sure because I went and saw it with my roommate Jill, we both were like hand over our mouths for like a solid 5 minutes because we were like, what just happened?
Yeah, the Void too, his like design and
it's so sick.
Term, aura, so good. Just the like wide eyes and everything else black.
He's just a shadow. So cool. It's so cool. The idea of it is just so sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like. It's something original that I feel like you don't see it often in
Yeah.
superhero type
Superhero.
movies.
And while we're on Sentry, the fight scene where they're all fighting him and just doing nothing.
Yeah.
That scene is so cool because it's all like one shot, but it like blends so seamlessly all the effects together. Like a
Yeah.
Marvel movie with good effects. When's the last time we had that? Like it's been a
Well,
while.
yeah, and I saw some like behind the scenes of this movie too, and it was like a lot of it was practical effects, which I think makes such a huge difference. Like,
Definitely.
I think as an audience, like whether or not they think we can tell, we can tell.
Yeah.
And
There's a
so I
famous
was,
line. There's a famous line from a YouTuber. He's actually reviewing the Star Wars prequels or something about Star Wars, I think. He says, like, you probably didn't notice it, but your brain did. And it's so
yeah,
true with effects. Like you're even if you don't consciously like that's an effect, your brain knows that's not real.
yeah, yeah. And so I think a lot of it, like even just like the beginning scene with Yelena jumping off of the building, like I think it makes such a big difference when you watch those knowing that it's real. I think it goes back to like all of the Tom Cruise stuff, like him doing all of his own stunts and like even Top Gun and how successful that was, just because I think having the audience also know like we put in the work and the effort and the time and the training to go out and make this as realistic as possible so you feel like you're actually in the movie. I think makes a huge difference to the audience because then it's like, "Oh, they cared. They cared
Exactly.
about what we're watching."
They
And
put in
so,
the effort and time for it.
yeah.
Exactly.
And so I think her doing
Um,
that was cool.
and that's a perfect segue into Yelena because I like Yelena like honestly way more than I ever liked Natasha. I didn't care. Like, I didn't not like Natasha. I thought she was fine. Like, I didn't really realize how much she was kind of just like a meh character until now.
Yeah.
Like, she's still
Until
good. Like, she's still
until in
fine.
comparison to her sister.
Yeah. Because
No, and
Black Widow,
I like Natasha. I think that Natasha deserved her own movie before
100%.
everything. I think if
Yeah.
she had been given Black Widow like earlier, then maybe we would have connected to her more. And then I think like everything, but I agree. I think that from an early point in Yelena's you know, entrance into the MCU, I think everybody's like, dude, we love her. She's hilarious. She's
Yeah.
awesome. We care about her.
Yeah, exactly. And, um, like Natasha, again, like never bad. She's always good in the movies, but she's never been a standout until like Endgame, where they make her a
Yeah.
good character, but then she just
Uh-huh.
dies. Um, but like you said, like from the first time Yelena was on screen, people just loved her. One, because
Yeah.
Florence Pugh is just
I
such a
think
good
it's
actress, and
look, Flo, like people are just drawn to her. Like how can you not?
exactly,
She's so cool.
yeah. And my favorite parts of Black Widow, because I think that movie's fine overall. It's not, I wouldn't call it necessarily bad, but I wouldn't say it's good by any means. It's just like, yeah, it's fine. But the best parts of that movie are Yelena, are Red Guardian, are the relationships of the family dynamics. And I'm just so happy that Thunderbolts is pretty much all about that. Like it's all
Yeah.
like, it's just like the family dynamics of obviously Yelena and Red Guardian, but just all of them kind of coming together. It's very
Well,
reminiscent
yeah.
of
Guardians.
Guardians more than it is Avengers.
Yeah.
Like I'd still
I
put
agree.
Guardians above this, like well above this, I guess. Like not to say that this is bad by any means, because obviously it's not. We're singing its praises, but like Guardians, I think does the found family one. Like just comparing the first Thunderbolts to the first Guardians, I think Guardians does found family a little bit better, but it's still they still did a great job with both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, more on Yelena. I think I saw a meme where it's like a screenshot of from the movie of her like hugging Bob, and it's like, so is the cure to male loneliness and depression just a cute blonde, and like a hug from a cute blonde,
A hug
and
from Florence Pugh.
uh, and she is just there's so much like she's pretty much the main character of the movie, and there's so much depth given to her and her backstory, and like you said, all I need to say is it's Florence Pugh. She's just so charismatic, so charming, very funny. Like everybody's funny in this movie, but her comedic timing, her and Red Guardian specifically, have such good comedic timing. And she just kind of understands the assignment with this
Yeah.
movie. And I think she was because you can tell in movies when an actor is kind of inspiring the people around them. Like, for example, Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, his performance very clearly inspired like everybody in that movie to kind of step up their game as well. And I think her love for Yelena and the character and the script kind of made other people also step up, because you can tell, not that you can tell, but there's people in this movie where it's like they probably would have phoned it in had Florence not been like the anchor to everybody. Maybe she wasn't, but it definitely seems that way from what I've seen. But yeah, she's awesome. I love her. Anything else on Yelena before I move on to John?
No, I think you killed it.
Well, I guess this is what I'll say about Yelena. I'm actually going to go to Red Guardian next, actually, and leave John for later because I have thoughts. My favorite scene in the movie is probably the scene of her in Red Guardian when she is like, after they lose against Sentry the first time and they all like kind of separate and
on the corner.
Red Guardian runs after her. That scene is so good. Like, got me emotional the 2 times I've seen this movie so far.
And I will say, when was the last time a Marvel movie almost brought a tear to my eye?
Years. Literally years.
It's been a while. Okay, I will say Guardians 3, I do enjoy.
Yes. But
Guardians
I
3...
view Guardians 3 as like its own separate thing, like away from the rest of the MCU.
Guardians 3, great. Also, obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home,
But
yeah.
the amount of projects that have come out in between all of that haven't hit, that have been in the dumpster, like, not it. But I was not expecting to get emotional at this movie, and I did. Several times.
Yeah. Like, the part where it just, like, punches you in the stomach, but then it just keeps going is when he's like, come on, like, talk to me. Like, tell me what's going on. And she says, like, Daddy, I'm so alone. I was like, oh, it's so sad, especially when you know the context of, obviously, their relationship, of how they both view each other as, like they're put together, obviously, as father and son under an undercover Soviet assignment and stuff like that. And in Black Widow, the best scene of that movie for me is when they're all at the dinner table as a family and they're all treating each other as a family because they grew up or they were together for 5 or so years. And Natasha's like, we're not a family. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing. And then Yelena's like, don't say that. Like, it was real to me because I was such a little kid. And when she says in that movie, like, the best part of my life was a lie and nobody ever told me.
Yeah.
And so you see, like, how much that moment in her life meant to her, like being a little girl and growing up. And so I love just the father-daughter dynamic between Red Guardian and Yelena and how it's not one-sided. Like, he very much views her as his daughter as well.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
The line, like, Daddy, I'm so alone, is so good and so sad, and how she delivers it is so just gut-wrenching. And then she says, like, surprisingly such a relatable monologue for the most part, where she's like, I just sit on my phone, like, I go home and sit on my phone and just think about all the bad things that I've done until I'm like, I go to work and then I come home and I do the same thing. I just drink myself to sleep, and it's so sad. And then how he's how he tells her, like, you were such a special little girl, like, you brought so much light to people's lives, like, you walked into a room and instantly it was better. And he's like, I still see that in you. And I love the line or the exchange where he says, you only see, like, the worst parts of yourself, but, like, that's not what I see you for. I can't remember what does he say exactly. It's in the trailer too. He's like, I don't see you by your mistakes. I see you. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, I see you for the good things that you do. You see yourself for the bad things that you do. But, like, that's not how I view you. And that's why we're such a good team, is because I can show you what is right about yourself. And honestly, like, in a very weird way, it kind of related back to, like, my personal, like, faith, like, my relationship with God.
Totally.
Like, I view myself as, like, I see myself for all the bad things I do. And God, from my viewpoint, from what I know, it's like, I don't see that. I see you, like, everything good you do. I don't view you based on your mistakes.
Totally.
And so it felt so just...
Your Father in heaven.
Exactly. It felt so oddly, like, spiritual for me.
No, the entire movie, honestly. Like, all of it was... I think that's what hits so good, too, in, like, movies like this, is, like, anytime that there's some sort of, like, emotional, like, mental thing, like these internal battles that then with like the help of others, and I think also can be very intertwined spiritually. Like I think those are the movies that people like and want to see because everybody can
Definitely.
relate to it, right? Like it's like
Hmm.
even though like we want to see these heroes being like successful and like being awesome and being cool because that's what people want to see, but we also like we want to see people that we can relate to. And I think it's
Hmm.
even more relatable to have somebody who's so awesome that everybody looks up to be in these like down in the dumps moments because
100%.
then it's like oh yeah, like everybody gets like this. It's not like even people
Hmm.
fighting crime in movies can get like this.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with me, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. And that's like the whole thesis of this movie, like you were saying, and it's
Yeah,
so good.
so good.
But to shift into Red Guardian real quick, funniest
So
character in the
funny.
movie,
Love
top
him.
five, top five funniest characters in the MCU, like easy. He was so good, and David Harbour is just such a good
He's the
actor.
best. I know.
I love him.
We were watching Stranger Things again. Have to mention Stranger Things in every episode apparently. But we were watching it last night, and I was just watching Hopper, and I was just like, "How is that Red Guardian?" Like it is, because it's David Harbour. Like you're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I can totally see it. But like he's
Yeah.
just so good. Like
Mhm.
I just love. Have you been seeing like some of the interviews of him in
Yeah.
like and he's just like he loves Red Guardian. Like he'll just bring out the
Mhm.
voice every once in a while, and it's just
Yeah.
so funny. He kills it, and I
He
love
like
people that love their roles.
definitely, and he loves playing Red Guardian, as
Yeah,
you were saying. And um, for me, he's almost like the heart of the movie. He's like the fatherly role. Like he's the one
yeah.
who wants to get the team together so bad, and everybody else hates each other. But
Everybody's just
he's like,
like
"Come
rolling
on,
their
like we
eyes.
can do this." And I love the first scene that we see him in, how he's just like watching the old Soviet tapes of himself, and
So funny.
it's so funny. Like he's just such an endearing and lovable guy. Like you can't not like Red Guardian. He's just so funny.
Too
Like I
good.
love the scene where him and Bucky are in the truck together and he's trying to like relate to Bucky and he's like, "So what serum did you get?" And he's like, "I don't know, the regular Hydra." And he's like, "Ooh, Hydra stuff. Fancy." And he's like trying to relate to him and it's just so funny. Um but yes, just
Just
so
written so well. It's
yeah.
perfect comedic like necessary like we need the like comedic whatever it's called. My
Hmm.
brain's not working. But we need the
Yeah,
comedy in there. We need the lightheartedness, but he also can like make it serious and like super heartfelt and have it still feel
definitely.
genuine, which is
Hmm.
so good. And also, of course, like still being a hero, still being like
Yeah.
legit. Like I love it.
And this movie, the MCU is known for like, especially these days, like kind of the cringy quips and comedy that really isn't super funny a lot of the time. But this movie is
Yeah.
actually funny. Like I'll
Yeah.
laugh at jokes that happen in this movie. Like I'll be thinking about it and kind of chuckle. Like it's
Yeah, totally.
actually
Well,
funny.
and it's also just I think sometimes I think what happened, not to get on too much of a tangent, but I think what happened was when Thor started bringing in the comedy, they felt like everything needed to have the
Yeah.
comedy when it's like, well, no, that's not like yeah, that did really well and like it worked for him, but like we don't need to bring it into everything because it
Hmm.
doesn't work everywhere. But
Yeah.
here it does
Because it feels so natural.
because it feels natural. I feel like when it's
Yeah.
forced, then it's like, bro, what are we doing? It feels like, but because I think there are some characters, some actors, obviously that don't need it, or the stories don't need it. I can't even think of an example, but just I agree. Like it's just this one feels natural. It feels good. It feels genuine. I'll be interested to see
100%.
how I'm excited to see Fantastic Four. I'm interested to see what the vibe is of that.
Yeah. Because it definitely, the trailers definitely make it seem like a little bit more stoic than
Exactly.
Thunderbolts. So I'm
Exactly.
interested to see how they handle that. But
Moving on to
moving on to
did have we talked
the
to about Bucky?
Bucky. Honestly, I when we first started this, I like kind of forgot that he was in this movie, and I was like, oh yeah, Bucky's here. Not to say that he's bad in this movie. He's great in this movie.
No.
I love his like older brother vibe that he has for
Yeah.
everybody. Like he's the one who's kind of like the actual
The
hero, getting
experienced.
things
Yeah.
done. But yeah, he
Been
definitely
here
kind of takes a
before.
back seat. Yeah. he takes a backseat, not necessarily in like a bad way, just because there's other characters we need to get to know. Like we already love
Yeah.
Bucky, but yeah, there's not necessarily any besides the freaking like motorcycle chase scene
Yeah, which
where he
is so
finally
sick.
gets his own like hero theme and stuff like that. So good, very
Yeah,
reminiscent
instead of
like
the Winter Soldier
Terminator.
theme. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Oh,
I think I
love
liked
it.
Bucky in this. Thought he was great. I know that the Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier show or whatever, that I know that people didn't love it. I didn't mind it. I do think that it led me to love Bucky more. I just think
Definitely.
I think anything that Bucky's in, I like every single time. I'm like, oh yeah, like poor guy has been
Hmm.
through it, and like he is a lovable character. I think that this movie was good for him. Yeah, like you said, I liked his kind of little older brother thing. I loved anytime he
Yeah.
was on the phone with what's her face, and he was just like, okay, like his little spy, like trying to
Hmm.
figure things out. It was good. I liked him a lot. Also, when they're in the void and they're like, I don't remember who says what, but he goes, "Oh yeah, no, I'm fine. I have a great past."
Yeah.
Like poor guy, he's just going through
Yeah.
it again.
That was funny. Um, yeah, he's
But
like
also
the one
like
of the
kind of not
last.
funny at the same time. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, bro."
Like,
Like it's
oh
just that dark
dang.
humor.
Like he went
It's
through
like,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, oh, he had to go through that again once again.
Yeah. And like he's just like one of the last remaining members of the old guard. Like been around since phase one. So it's just always nice to see him because it's like a reminder of the past. And like
Yeah.
that's clearly the role he's supposed to have in this movie
For
is
sure, for
he
sure.
like anchors it back. But yeah, love him. All right, real quick, because probably not a lot to say about her. Ghost, what'd you think?
Yeah, thought she was great. I literally like again, not a standout. I loved her and Yelena. They're kind of like chemistry, especially against John, especially in
John?
the beginning
Hmm.
when they're just kind of like ganging up on him because John
Hmm.
is a tool bag
Hmm.
and they make sure he knows it. But yeah, no, I thought she was great. I think it would be cool to see her kind of again in future projects. I want to see her kind of like shine a little bit more because I think she's interesting and cool. I low key forgot about her and then she like showed up and I was like, oh yeah, sick.
Definitely.
She has cool powers.
Yeah, she is way better in this than she is in Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Yeah,
which she's like the main villain of.
yeah,
Um, I love, like you said, I love her. I love her relationship with Elena, but I honestly love her and John's more because they got like the brother sister dynamic
true.
of
Yeah,
just constantly like bickering and
yeah.
stuff like that. Like I thought that was so funny. But yeah, she's fine. Nothing good, nothing terrible. She's like, yeah,
She's like
I want
she's
to see
there.
more.
She'll be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, should we talk about the best character of the movie now? Taskmaster.
Lasted all of 4 seconds.
If I am to, we're singing this movie's praises. There are negatives. Like this is not a perfect movie, but I don't want to talk about them because I don't
It's
really
just a bonus
want to.
episode.
Yeah. But I will say Taskmaster, I don't know why they put her in the marketing. Like nobody really liked this version of Taskmaster anyway, and I feel like it would have been better because you just mismarketed like, oh, I want to see Taskmaster with this group. I can't wait to see her development, and then she dies like almost immediately.
Immediately.
Like it would have been better if they like just hid that, and then it's just like a little surprise, like oh Taskmaster, because then
Yeah.
it wouldn't have like because it's just like what like why didn't you just at least keep her around, have Sentry accidentally kill her or she dies
Yeah.
later, like just
They
what
didn't
was
want to
the
pay
point?
they didn't want to pay another actress.
Yeah,
They were tired of it. Yeah, no,
yeah,
honestly, I don't think it made that much of a difference to me because I wasn't following the marketing all that closely. So I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't think I even cared really, but
yeah.
I do think that it's silly to like include her and then just be like, okay, see ya.
Have you seen the interview where it's David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, and the girl who plays Ghost? And the interviewer is like, "Who's your favorite Thunderbolt besides your character?" And David Harbour goes, "Probably Taskmaster." And then they all just start like dying. It's so
That's so
funny.
funny. The
Um,
jokes.
but
Love
yes,
it.
so last character I want to talk about is John because
I kind of
really
shared my
love
thoughts, but tell me what you think.
I think, like you said, he is a tool bag, but that's why I love him, because this is the thing that pisses me off is people will say like, oh, John is just such a terrible person and a terrible character because he has flaws. He's like supposed to be annoying. And like, if like, you don't have to love every character that I love, that's not what I'm saying, but it just pissed me off because people will be like, John is such a terrible villain, he's a horrible person, but then defend like Wanda for enslaving a town and almost destroying multiple realities for her fake children just because they like her. It's like, that is objectively way worse. Like, I've seen people point this out. John on this team is like objectively on paper the most like innocent. Yelena was a Red Room assassin. Bucky, obviously, Winter Soldier. Ghost was an assassin. Red Guardian was a Soviet super soldier. Like, all of this stuff. The only like for sure like that we have seen anyways like bad thing John did was kill a guy in Falcon and Winter Soldier. But even then, it wasn't bad that he killed the guy because this dude was a terrorist who had just killed John's best friend. What was bad about it is that he did it in like a public place where everybody saw the brutality of it.
Yeah.
Because you go back and watch Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Watch the first 5 minutes of Winter Soldier, first 10 minutes. Cap puts the freaking work on some dudes, like brutal in that first like boat scene. I love it. It's awesome. But like, he is like hucking his shield, like decapitating fools practically.
Yeah.
And like, that is like, and people are like, oh, John like tried to kill Bucky and Sam. And obviously it was because of like roid rage and stuff. But also, if you watch back that fight, like Bucky was throwing punches that like literally like bend metal in half and like snap like metal beams and stuff. Had John not dodged, like bro's head was coming off. Like, he was gonna die. But anyways, like, he's still a bad guy.
I just think I wonder too if I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier like now how I would feel about it, because I also just think like the climate of the time for Marvel in general, like just with like the discourse online and just like everybody having such strong opinions, it being right after Endgame, the first couple of shows that came out on Disney Plus, it being COVID, it like everything I think was just so heightened for everybody. Like, we were all at home just like waiting for something to consume, and then we were like, oh my gosh, we hate him, you know? Where I think that like maybe if it had come out, like if they had waited a little bit longer, I think that maybe the hatred for him wouldn't have been so heightened. And I think that that plays a big part of it too. And like I remember not liking him in the show, but I think it was mostly just like, bruh, I just miss Captain America. Like, I just miss Chris Evans, which I think is the whole point. It's like, dude, like that's the whole point of his character. And I think it also is interesting that you look at Bob, you look at Sentry, they're basically exploring the same idea, is like putting a super serum into a person,
an unstable guy
who's flawed, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought when we were watching, I'm surprised I'm sure somebody has talked about this, but I'm surprised that I haven't seen anybody talk about this. But they were exploring the same thing that that show was exploring, was that like, okay, if we're putting a super serum in like, you know, John Walker, how is that going to affect him, since maybe he's not as stable and as courageous and as loyal as Steve Rogers, who was like the perfect candidate, right? And so it's like, it was still kind of exploring that same idea, because it's like, okay, well, will he turn evil and like all that? And then that you kind of see that in Sentry and the Void and everything. So I thought that was interesting, that it was like, it's kind of exploring the same ideas, but like nobody's really talking about that. Because that was my main thing that I got out of Falcon and Winter Soldier, from what I remember. So anyways, I think that it's interesting, because I also think that like John Walker's he's a stand-up dude, like he's trying to do his best. He's got his family. But again, he's just a tool, because why are we bringing up football? Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
And that's the thing, is like,
but we all know that guy. We all know him.
Like, people,
he's just unlikable.
this is the thing that makes me mad is like people don't understand. Some people, Marvel fans, because sometimes Marvel fans are the most stupid people on the planet, don't understand like you said, the point is for you to not like John Walker,
Yeah.
especially in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like you're supposed to be like, that's not Steve. That's like the whole point of the entire show.
That's
like,
the
they
entire
pointed out.
show. That's why he's
And
there. He's not. So you're not supposed to like him. It's not. Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite parts of that show makes me so upset because that's so much potential, and I feel like they just like John Walker should have been the main villain. It should not have been stupid terrorist.
Yeah, whatever
girl.
that
She
was.
sucks.
Yeah.
But because I love John Walker as a character because he's just so interesting and compelling because throughout that whole show he's trying to like do the right thing. He's trying to do what he thinks is right, just follow orders, trying to work with Bucky and Sam. But the world, both outside of the show and inside the show, like hate him like immediately. Like Bucky and Sam like literally won't even give him the time of day, even though he is a decorated soldier, like good man. He even says like, I didn't ask for this. Like the first scene that we see him in, it's like him talking to his wife or whatever. He's like, I don't know if I'm like really able to do this. Like, I don't know if I'm worthy of it. And I can't remember if it's his wife or his partner, but like, it's like, you got to do this, man. Like he didn't want to. And like his fall from grace being like, he's just like, I don't understand why people aren't liking me. Like I'm trying to do the best I can. And then he takes the serum, like trying to do better and just nothing works. And that leads him to kind of lose his mind. Like that's so cool and so compelling. Cause it is like, at the end of the day, like if he did fully turn evil and never had a redemption, that would have been on Sam and Bucky. And like that, you kind of see that later because Sam and Bucky kind of realized that because they didn't even give him even a time to like explain himself or anything.
Yeah.
But anyways, I love them. Back to this movie. I love the moments of this movie where you just see John like be a good person. Like, yes, he's just annoying, but when it comes down to it, like qualities. He's a good guy.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, he's just doing his best, like all of us.
Like when he gives them like the cactus flower and he gives like, Yelena and Ghost at first, and Yelena kind of looks at him and kind of like sees that, oh, this guy's actually kind of a good guy. Like you can just tell in like that little exchange, like that meant
She's
something
like,
to
oh,
her.
yeah.
That like,
yeah.
And I love, you see it very clearly with his dynamic with Bob, where at the beginning he like hates Bob, but then by the end he like really cares about him. And he's the one to like punch his dad in like when they're in their void and stuff. And people have pointed out, which I didn't even notice, like at the beginning he calls Bob Bobby, but then when he learns that's what his dad called him, he never calls him Bobby again for the rest of the movie. And it's like, oh, it's so good. Like I love that.
Just little details,
And last thing that I'll say about character overall, we need superhero movies, which more superhero movies are starting to do this. My favorite superhero movies do this, where we actually see the heroes save people.
Yeah.
Like not just fight the bad guy, but like save people. Like the Batman does it, the original Spider-Man movies does it, Amazing Spider-Man does it. Like those are consistently some of my favorite scenes, is when heroes actually get to save people. And they have that whole scene of everybody saving people, and it's so good. And everybody like claps for him and stuff. Like, I love it.
It's like giving, I don't know why it's my brain is going to The Incredibles.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, no, I agree. That's the whole point of superheroes. Like,
just to save people.
Yeah. And obviously it's like implied because they're saving the world, thus saving people. But the best parts are when they're actually like saving citizens on the street.
It's a lot more effective
life.
when you see it.
I love it. Well, I'm glad we enjoyed a Marvel movie and that we got to chat about it, G.
Yes. What would you give just overall score?
Overall score for me, I'm going to give it... Okay, giving like my favorite Marvel movie being like extra large bucket, extra large... I mean extra butter. I'm going to say that this one is a large bucket, extra butter.
Yeah. Love it.
What would you say?
Like you, I'm not gonna rate it based on like movies as a whole. I'm gonna rate it as like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like if we're looking at my favorite Marvel movies, I would give it probably like think large bucket, like between medium large, probably large, and as of now extra butter. Like we'll see how that changes, but
Yeah, and
love
I
this
mean that's the
movie.
thing with Marvel movies now is that I mean like who knows how that will change in years, but
Yeah.
I love it. I think it was good. I always love again, I love a good message of mental health and um seeing people be real. I like it.
And it had a theme. When's the last time a Marvel movie had an actual like theme to it?
Yeah,
Like it had a
seriously.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. A
Mm-hmm.
good goal. And yeah, it touched my heart.
Touched my heartstrings. Made me feel something.
Made me feel something. I almost cried a couple times. So,
Yes.
okay.
Well,
Well, I love it. It was lovely chatting with you about Thunderbolts. I hope our watchers and listeners enjoyed our bonus episode. Hopefully, it makes up for our schedule having
Absence.
been off to have a little episode. And we will see you guys next week or 2 weeks. Don't know when this one's being released. So, we'll see you guys next time. And we will be watching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So, we'll see you then.
Ciao.
Yay!